Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're listening from. This is Nasif here. I am the founder and CEO of Scale Grow. I'm going to be talking about before we get into the topic, I just want to make sure that everything is proper. So I hope the audio is fine. If you are unable to hear me, just let me know in the comment section. Uh, so before we start, a bit about myself. I'm the founder of Scale Grow. We are a B2B marketing agency that helps companies in the IT, tech, SaaS, robotics, and embedded systems industries grow with marketing. We're going to be talking about content distribution today. I'll try to make it as meaningful as possible, as useful as possible for all of you. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If I'm unable to respond to them during the conversation, during the session, I'll make sure that I respond after the session. That said, I think we can right away get into the session. I hope more people join in as we start with the session. So I will be sharing my screen. Okay, great. So let me move right into the presentation. Okay, so let's get started with the session. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So today's session is about content distribution and how you can find the best marketing channels for distributing your content. Before getting into the details and the nine-step framework for content distribution, I want to mention one thing in the beginning. So this session is not about trying to complicate a very simple process. I personally believe that content distribution is a very simple process. A lot of people unnecessarily complicate it, but the reason why we are trying to put all of this into a framework is to help you structure the process of content distribution so that you can visualize it better. Some people understand things better by putting everything into a box. So that's what we are trying to do. It will also help you approach content distribution in like a sequential manner, like what should you start with first, and what are the steps that you should follow so that you reach your content distribution goals, right? So that's what we will talk about today. So just to make sure that I'm audible, can someone say hi just to make sure that I'm audible in the chat? Okay, I'm going to take that for a yes. Anyway, let me go back to the presentation. So this is the agenda for the day. We're going to be talking about the nine-step content distribution framework. We'll also look at a few low-cost content distribution channels or methods. We'll learn how to distribute more with less content, and at the end, we will also talk about the content distribution tech stack. So that is the agenda for the day. I'll spend like 1 or 2 minutes introducing ScaleGrow. Like I mentioned in the beginning, ScaleGrow is a B2B marketing agency. We help companies in the IT, tech, SaaS, robotics, and embedded systems industries grow with marketing. We have 8 service lines starting with content, SEO, email marketing, video marketing, LinkedIn marketing, graphic design, performance marketing, and website management. In essence, we can help, if you are a B2B business, we can help you with anything online marketing. uh, we are a full stack marketing agency, and we're already helping many customers across multiple industries with all of these. A bit about myself. I've been in the B2B marketing space for about for more than 8 years now. I started my career as a marketing analytics manager back in 2016. In my last company, I led a multifunctional marketing team of more than 15 people. In my stint at ScaleGrow, I've also helped more than 15 companies revamp their B2B marketing strategy. I'm also a very active content creator. I write a lot, I create videos, I appear on podcasts. I also mentor B2B marketers, future B2B marketing leaders in an attempt to, help people take better career choices in their professional journey. Okay, so with that, let's get started with the core of today's topic, which is the 9 step content distribution framework. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the objective is not to complicate the process of content distribution. It's all about giving you a methodology to add structure to the distribution process, right? So with that in mind, this is what the 9 step content distribution framework looks like. I'll get into the details of each of these very soon, but it starts with goal definition. It starts with understanding what you want to achieve with your content distribution efforts, and it ends with giving like a template, like a structure, a routine to your content distribution, uh, to your content distribution with a calendar. So that's overall how the process looks like. Now I'll get into the details of each of these so that you understand what these are all about. Goal definition, I don't think I have to explain this a lot, but broadly speaking, B2B businesses, when it comes to content distribution, have two goals. One is improving brand awareness and visibility, second is generating leads or pipeline. You could have either of these as your content distribution goals, or you could have both. Most B2B businesses have improving brand awareness and visibility as the starting goal, and then as they mature, they also have generating leads or pipeline as another as the key goal. Now, why is audience analysis important? This is the second step in the distribution framework. Why is this important? Because most businesses, when they start to sell a product or a solution, they know who their target audience is. They know who they sell to, who want their product. So why is it important to still analyze the audience? The thing is that while you might know who your target is, who might want to buy your products or solutions, you might not know their content preferences, where they would like to consume content, when are they active the most during the day, what platforms do they prefer to consume content on. So these are the things that you attempt to find out in an audience analysis. And to find that out, you can use a wide variety of methods, starting from surveys and customer interviews to social media, market research aggregators, communities, and events. Surveys and customer interviews, basically you talk directly, you gather feedback, information, insights directly from your customers or prospects using surveys, focus group discussions, or customer interviews. Social media, it's about leveraging platforms like LinkedIn to understand what kind of content your audience likes consuming, or what kind of content in your niche gets the maximum engagement. You could even go the extra mile by using social listening platforms like Mention or Brandwatch to understand what your audience is talking about. The third method is market research aggregators. You could look at platforms like SparkToro or BuzzSumo to learn the channels your prospects are using. Like for example, for ScaleGrow, we are a B2B marketing agency, and if we are to find out people who are consuming content around B2B marketing or channels which are talking about B2B marketing, so that we can go ahead and co-promote with them or co-partner with them, we would go to a SparkToro and search using let's say B2B marketing services. So SparkToro will give me the list of websites, YouTube channels, podcasts, social media handles that talk about these topics, and probably I could approach them and co-promote with them. Similarly, Bazzumo will give me the list of the most popular content items online when it comes to related to a specific topic or keyword. Next is communities. You could create your own community and use that as a feedback mechanism, or you can be on other communities like the one ScaleGrow has for B2B marketers called the B2B Marketing Tribe. Events are excellent for collecting feedback because you will be talking to your target customers face to face. Nothing beats a good in person interaction. So, to summarize, audience analysis will tell you what are your audience's content preferences so that you can go ahead and create those kind of content and distribute that content the at the time they want and at the place your audience wants. Channel benchmarking sounds like a fancy term, but it is very simple. It is about understanding what channels are working in your industry. So, if you are a large enterprise, a mature organization, you already have historical data like attribution data and channel spending and ROI. Attribution data is nothing but the data or insights on which channels are working for your business already in terms of generating leads and revenue. Channel spending and ROI is basically about understanding which channels are generating the highest ROI for your business. So these two data points go hand in hand, attribution data and channel ROI. How this helps is if you have historical data, if you have been in business for some time, you'll be able to understand what channels have been working for you by looking at your attribution data. Now, if you are just getting started with your content distribution efforts, you might not have any historical data. So in such a case, you'll have to actually do some secondary research to understand what benchmarks your industry is having, right? In terms of which channels are working, in terms of what is the average spend in each channel, what is the average CPL, cost per lead in each channel, etc. So this will give you a good understanding of what is working in the industry, what or how the industry is distributing content. And the fourth step actually takes this to the very next level, right? Wherein you understand, where you look at your competitors and understand what channels they are using, what they are actively pursuing, and what is working for them. And I have written a very detailed article on how to do competitor analysis from a marketing standpoint. And you can find that on the ScaleGrow website. If you Google competitor analysis ScaleGrow, you will find that article. But here broadly, I have mentioned 5 areas across which you would want to look at your competitors, starting with traffic and SEO analysis. Uh, like you would want to look at how much traffic on average your competitors are getting, what are the regions from which they are getting traffic, what are their lead or traffic sources. You can use a tool like SimilarWeb to do that. You could also look at metrics like how many keywords they're ranking for, how many backlinks are they getting, what is their domain rating. You could use tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush to get this data. So this will give you a sense of whether SEO, which channels from the lead source data, and whether SEO is really giving your competitors the results they should be getting, right? The second set of channels is social media, whether it is LinkedIn, YouTube, or X. You look at what kind of content your competitors are creating there and what kind of engagement they are getting. LinkedIn and Google Ads are also an excellent place to analyze your competitors. When it comes to LinkedIn ads, you can go to LinkedIn ad library and see all the ads your competitors are running. If it's Google Ads, you can go to Google Ads Transparency Center and get a consolidated view of all the ads your competitors are running. Or you could go to an ad aggregator platform like AdBeat to get a comprehensive understanding of all the ads your competitors are running. Right? So whatever the method is, uh, you're trying to understand what is working for your competitors, and if something is working for your competitors, it's highly likely that it will work for you as well when you distribute content. Newsletters and blog subscriptions, they're also a great way to analyze your competitors. You could use an alias email ID to subscribe to their content, or you could use a tool like SendView that will help you analyze your competitors' email content in detail. Then you also have to look at their demand generation, your competitors' demand generation efforts. Can be podcasts, event participations, PR campaigns, interviews, media interviews, etc. Right. So this is the fourth step. So combined audience analysis, channel benchmarking, and competitor analysis will give you a sense of how the industry is distributing content, how your competitors are distributing content. Right. Now the next step is how do you take this knowledge into action, right? That starts at this particular point where you have to balance both demand generation and capture. Capture is basically demand capture is basically capturing leads from those people who are in the market to buy your solutions or products today, right? So this is usually expected to be around or estimated to be around 2% of your entire TAM, total addressable market. And you use channels like SEO, ads, emails, LinkedIn outreach, etc. to get hold of this 2%. Demand generation refers to the other marketing efforts like organic social media, podcasting, events, webinars, workshops, etc. that you conduct to attract the remaining 98% who are not in market to buy your solutions. But you still need to be top of mind for those people so that when a need arises for them tomorrow, you are always top of mind when it comes to exploring the solutions you offer, right? So it is key to balance the both, meaning that when you distribute content, you have to distribute content using both the channels, right? I'm not getting into the details of how you should ideally balance both demand gen and capture, but essentially the idea is that you use a good mix of both demand capture and demand generation channels. Okay, content channel map. This basically is about finding out the channels where you can promote your content. It's as simple as that. What content can you promote on what channel, right? And this image illustrates what a content channel map is. On the left side you have the content type, and on the right side you have the channels you can use to distribute that content. It's a very simple concept. Now you might ask, why can't you just start from this step instead of going through all the other 4 5 steps that we mentioned, right? Now in most cases, an advanced marketer would know which channel to use for what type of content. But what especially if you're just starting with your content distribution efforts, right? It is always recommended to spend time understanding, analyzing the industry, so that you know what channels work the best for the industry, so that you can invest more of your efforts into those channels. And if you know that certain channels, or if you find out that some channels do not work in your industry, you don't have to spend money. Like for example, if you take the case of industrial heavy equipment manufacturers, you don't see them actively doing a lot of online marketing efforts. They're very heavy on events and trade shows, because that's how traditionally marketing has worked for them. Though things are changing now, these companies continue to focus on events and trade shows, right? So similarly, you need to understand your industry in terms of what content can be distributed using what channels. That's what a content channel map is all about. A distribution frequency is a very simple concept. It's about how many times you should distribute content through a particular channel, and it is different. It is going to be different for different channels, right? I mean, for email, the frequency has to be one. For LinkedIn, it has to be different. For YouTube, it will be different. And the frequency that I've mentioned here on this particular slide, this is not a one size fits all frequency, right? This is more, take it more like a guideline. How many times you should post content for your business will depend on what industry you are in, what products or solutions you are selling, who are you targeting, which channels work the most for you, etc. Right? So take this as a guideline. Uh, this is a good starting point. Depending on what your business scenario is, you might want to alter it. So it's always recommended to take some advice if you have any confusions around this. Content marketing funnel, right? That's a very popular concept, and we all know what it is. And it's about aligning various content types across the different stages of the buying journey, right? So this image illustrates what a content marketing funnel is. Now what I one point I want to mention here is that I'm personally not a big fan of this way of representing the content marketing funnel, right? This old way of a single point of entry and a single point of exit is not actually what a content marketing or a marketing funnel looks like. I've written a complete article on this particular topic, which I call the discontinuous marketing funnel, wherein there are multiple entry points and multiple exit points for a marketing funnel, and that is true for a content marketing funnel as well. It's not like everyone starts at the awareness stage or everyone first looks at the awareness piece of content, then travels all the way down to the selection, purchase, retention stage, right? So it doesn't happen in a linear fashion. But this way of representing the content marketing funnel gives an easy image and makes it easy for us to understand how different content items work, or the purpose of each content type, right? So here at the content marketing funnel, the idea of representing it this way is that you need to make sure you create content for all the stages of the buyer journey, right? You need to make sure that you have enough up there at the top of the funnel to ensure you build awareness for your business. At the same time, you also need to have content types that support your goals at the bottom of the funnel. For example, if you take sales enablement as a function, one of the responsibilities of somebody working in sales enablement is to give sales people the right type of content at the right time when they need it, right? So that is much further down the funnel. So understanding or visualizing a funnel this way helps you design a content distribution strategy that will spread across the entire funnel and it is not biased towards any of the sides, right? Okay, so the final step is to put all of this into like a content distribution calendar, into a calendar where you will note down what you will do on what date, right? Like for example, we are approaching the end of October. Now, if you want to create a content distribution plan for November and December, you would mention in a sheet on November 1 what type of content, which content item will you promote, which channel will you promote it in, what campaign type will you use it to promote, will you include that in your newsletter, will you run an ad with it, what is the format of the content, is it a carousel, is it an article, is it a white paper, whatever it is, right? So basically that's what a content distribution calendar is. You don't have to necessarily follow this format, but I hope you get the idea or the importance of putting a content distribution calendar together. Okay, so with that, we end the framework. I hope this was not very overwhelming and did not complicate things for you. Following this particular framework step by step will help you ensure that you have comprehensively covered all aspects of content distribution from a channel or a process perspective. And there are one more thing that we need to look at is the tech stack, which is something we'll be covering separately in a few minutes. But understand that the framework is all you need to prepare yourself for your content distribution efforts, right? Whether you are getting started with content distribution or you are at a mature stage where you have explored multiple channels, looking at this framework will help you make your own approach complete in all ways, right? Okay, let's get to some low cost content distribution methods. I think this is something that will be more useful for early stage businesses who would want to optimize their spending, right? So let's get right into that. So these are the key low cost distribution channels that you can explore. I'm sure probably there are, let's say, two or three more which have not been mentioned in the list, but this more or less covers most of it. Starting with free guest posting, right? Guest posting is a great way to generate backlinks as well. So there are a lot of websites which allow you to share content or share blog posts for free. So that is a great low cost distribution channel, given that it also has an additional advantage of generating backlinks. You could also try something like backlink exchange, wherein you give one backlink in return for someone giving you a backlink to your website, right? Though Google doesn't recommend doing it a lot, I would do I would recommend that you do it sparingly, but it does help in the initial days. PDF submissions websites like Scribed and SlideShare, given that these PDFs also appear in search results, it's a good way to have like one extra helping hand in terms of distribution. Though I wouldn't recommend to rely completely on this channel, it's still a good to have. Newsletters, whether you host it on LinkedIn, your own email automation tool, Substack, Beehive, or any other platform, newsletters are a great way to educate your audience, right? And the barrier to entry is very low because you are not selling anything, you are not pushing anything, not pushing your customers to buy anything, that you're just educating it. So more people are open to it, right? And it doesn't cost you anything to set up a newsletter except for the fact that you will be paying for the email automation tool. Substack is free, LinkedIn is free, Beehive is also free. So any of those platforms are free unless you're trying to make some revenue out of it. Communities are a great way to distribute your content, and if you're being part of other communities where you're allowed to distribute content, then that's completely free of cost. Or you could host your own community, but you don't have to go for expensive platforms like, let's say, Circle or School. If you have the budget, you should definitely go for it because they come with a lot of features that help you scale your community. But you could get started with something like nas.io, which is completely free to use, and they charge a commission based on how much you earn from the community. So if your objective is not to earn from the community, then you can start something completely for free, or you could start something right away on WhatsApp. Like I personally know a lot of communities that are just run on WhatsApp. Social media, I don't think I have to explain this. LinkedIn is free to use, X is free to use, YouTube is free to use. All it is required is your effort and time. Micro influencer marketing, this is something I want to spend some 1 or 2 minutes on, right? So this is, I believe, by far the most underutilized content distribution channels, because everybody is interested in working with the big influencers, right? But there is the segment of upcoming influencers who consistently create high quality content on platforms like, let's say, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, etc., right? And these influencers, these micro influencers, are more open to working with you, and a lot of them would co-create content with you for free, right? Now, what are the different ways in which you can work with a micro influencer? You can do content co-creation or social media platforms. You can do webinar conversations. You can do workshops. There are a lot of ways. You can even co-create newsletters, right? Depending on what channels the micro influencer has, you can choose what works the best, right? And the key here is to work with as many micro influencers as possible, because then you amplify your reach and visibility. Coming to press release submissions, some websites offer the ability to publish press releases for free. So that's again a low cost distribution channel. Webinars like this one, all it is needed is your time, your effort. If you're using a webinar hosting platform, uh, like the one that I'm using now, Restream, that will cost you some money. But let's say if you're leveraging a platform that you already have access to, for example, Teams, to do your webinars, right? So that's a great place to start. So if you want to take it to the go the extra mile, you can go for platforms like Restream or slightly more expensive ones like GoToWebinar, for example. So that's about low cost content distribution. Now, resorting to low cost content distribution methods definitely helps you reduce cost. But the bigger challenge for a lot of B2B marketers or content marketers is, how do they create all the content that they need for distribution, right? How do you distribute more with less content? And the answer to that is content repurposing. And it's a very simple concept, and all of us know about this, but the truth is that not every one of us uses content repurposing to its full potential. So that's what I wanted to highlight on this particular slide. And it is not just about saying that, yeah, we do content repurposing, we know how it works. It's more about building a system and framework to do it and implementing it according to the framework that you have built, right? Like for example, here at Scale Grow, we have a newsletter called the Scale Grow newsletter where we share one B2B growth hack in every edition. And what we do is we take that content, we take the content of one edition and we repurpose that into a YouTube short. So if you go to our YouTube channel, Scale Grow's YouTube channel, you will find that we have published a lot of shorts, and 90%, 80 to 90% of that content has been repurposed from our newsletter. Similarly, we have now started repurposing a lot of the content from my LinkedIn newsletter called Elevate Your Marketing as shorts, and we're also working on creating long form videos. So basically, it's about creating what I call foundational content, which you can then go ahead and repurpose into other formats. Now, the key thing to note here is that when you do content repurposing, I always recommend starting with long form content, like a blog post, like a webinar, so that you set a foundation on which you can build. Right? For example, compare it with a house. You have the foundation that supports the entire structure. On that foundation, you build small or individual rooms that become different blocks and different types of content for you, right? So you have the foundation. On the foundation you build, and the content items that you promote or you repurpose and then promote evolve from the foundation that you have set, right? So a simple content repurposing framework can look like this, right? What is the base content or what is the foundational content you can create? What do you repurpose that into, and what are the different platforms on which you can distribute the content, right? So this framework also takes into consideration how you can distribute, which is why I've listed the different channels you can use on the right side here. So this is what a content repurposing framework looks like. What I suggest every marketer do is, instead of looking at 15, 20 different types of content you can create within your limited resources, what are the five content items that you can, five long form content items or two, three long form content items that you can create without create consistently without a break for an extended period of time. Fix that, then create a routine to repurpose these long form content items into smaller items like social media posts, short videos, or something like, for example, newsletter editions, whatever it is. Right, the options are plenty, the permutations and combinations are plenty. It's all about you creating that system to do it regularly. Okay, now let's get to the last section of this particular webinar, the content distribution tech stack. So when it comes to the tech stack, for you to distribute content, you need to create content first. So in that sense, practically any tool that you use for content creation will also come under the content distribution tech stack. We'll also look at a few specific examples or hidden gems that you can use for distribution, creating and distributing content. But I think this is how an essential content distribution tech stack or a minimal content distribution tech stack should look like. I'm not saying that you should have all the tools in the list. I've just mentioned them as examples, right? You just need to have maybe one or two in one category. And the tech stack can be divided into four sections or four categories, starting with content writing and hosting, design and video editing, content promotion, and finally, content marketing analytics. Right? Content writing and hosting, uh, it's the era of AI, right? So we all use ChatGPT, we use Perplexity. There are other specialized content AI content writers like Jasper, Copy.ai, Phrase.io, Byword AI. There are plenty of them, right? So you need content writing assistance. Need not be an AI tool. It can be something like Grammarly. I mean, even Grammarly integrates AI nowadays. Grammarly helps you make your content more polished. So you need writing assistance basically. You also need SEO tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush. You can also turn to tools like free tools from Google like Google Analytics and Google Search Console. You also need webinar hosting tools. They are also content creation tools. like GoToWebinar or Restream or StreamYard or Teams or Zoom for that matter. You also need a website builder to host your website, of course, like a WordPress or a Webflow. Now, the second category is design and video editing. Like I said, for you to distribute content, you need to create content. And when it comes to design, it can be Adobe Creative Suite, it can be Canva. If you have 3D designs to make, it can be Maya. So again, there are plenty of tools that you can use for creative design. Figma is another great example. So the idea is that you need to have something, right? It can be something as simple as Canva or something as advanced as the Adobe Creative Suite. Now, content promotion, right? That's where distribution, a lot of the distribution happens. And depending on what channels you choose or what kind of distribution you choose, the tools you need will also differ. Like for example, if you're talking about social media, you can use LinkedIn, you can use YouTube, you can use X. When it comes to ad platforms, mostly Google, LinkedIn. In some niches in B2B, Facebook or Meta also works. Then for sending out your emails, hosting your newsletters, you need an email automation tool. It can be HubSpot, it can be Zoho or any email tool of your choice. Then you have YouTube for promoting videos. Some also go to the extent of using platforms like Dailymotion and all that for hosting content. But it really depends on what you want to achieve, where your audience hangs out, right? Now let's talk about analytics. Analytics is what tells you is something that tells you whether your content is working or not, right? And like I said, you don't have to have all the tools in the list, but you can start with the basics, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning, when it comes to SEO and website traffic analytics, Google Analytics and Google Search Console are free tools to use. Clarity from Microsoft, it's a heat map analysis tool that is also free to use. You don't have to go for paid tools like a Hotjar or a SmartLook. You can pretty much manage with a Microsoft Clarity, and it's a decent tool. If you want to take your social media analytics to the next level, rather than just depending on the native analytics offered by platforms like LinkedIn, you can look at social listening tools like Mention or Brands24, right? And then you can, for analyzing your ads, you can depend on the native analytics offered by the ad platforms. And for emails also, whichever email automation tool you're using, let's say if it's HubSpot, you can get metrics like open rate, click rate, delivery rate, etc., within the platform itself. Then you have YouTube analytics for analyzing your channel's performance. You could look at metrics like impressions, click-through rate. You'll also get region-wise demographic data. So there are a lot of details to it. I'm not getting into the details, but the idea is that whichever channels you're using to distribute content, you need to analyze them. You need to analyze them using the native analytics module offered by those platforms. Plus, you can have Google Analytics and Google Search Console as your aid to get a picture of your overall website's performance. Okay, now let's go to some hidden gems, right? Some of my favorite tools too, and these are not essentials. I would say these are more like good to have if you want to really accelerate or if you want to really give a pump to your content distribution efforts. So starting with AI video creation, this has kind of become mainstream nowadays. They are not new anymore. Whether it's Synthesia, Hagen, Rephrase, Typecast, there is Vid also Vid.io also has an AI avatar module now. So these tools help you create AI avatar videos from a simple script. So they how do they help in content distribution? They help you create content fast without you having to stand in front of a camera or shoot a video in a professional studio setup. Within few minutes, you can get a professional looking video done, and then you can take that and distribute it across multiple channels, whether it is YouTube, LinkedIn, or any other platform that you use. When it comes to social media promotion, the native promotion, definitely yes, you should all do that. But you can also explore a platform called Q Promote, which helps you automatically find people. Not find, you actually get real people to promote your content without you having to do anything. So the way this works is the creators of Q Promote also have another platform called Q, which is a content curation platform. So that's that when that serves as the demand side of things, Q Promote on the other side make sure that there is enough supply. So what this means is that on Q, which is a content curation platform, people look for content that they can share in their areas of interest. It can be technology, it can be marketing. On the other side, on Q Promote, you have people who want their content to be promoted. So you have like a matching that works between the two platforms, and that's how you can automatically get content shared by real people on this platform. Now the only thing is that Q Promote works only for a specific set of niches, and if your business is too niche, too narrow, then it might not be a good idea. But so make sure to evaluate the platform for your industry. When it comes to advertising, another popular name is Influtu, which allows you to promote to specific people and not accounts. And it works. You'll get a match rate of 40 to 50% in the US in terms of how many people you can reach. It doesn't work as much in the EU because of GDPR constraints. It's an expensive platform, so make sure you evaluate it thoroughly before you proceed with it. When it comes to attribution and analytics, you can, in addition to Google Analytics and the native analytics that you get in Google Search Console, you can explore platforms like Matomo and Factors AI. Matomo will tell you the behavior of your website visitors. AI has now also integrated a lot of other modules than just website data, but it gives you the journey details of visitors on your website. Video emailing, that's a great way to stand out, among text-based emails. And Bonjoro and Lemlist are examples of tools that can help you do this. Exit intent pop-ups are basically banners that pop up on your website when you're about to leave, on a website when you're about to leave that website. So on exit intent pop-ups, you can promote ebooks, white papers, exclusive access to events, or anything that you want for that matter. Opted Monster, Pop-up Smart, Pick Reel, Coloroo. There are quite a few tools that can help you do this. So this is a great way to retain more users on their website, because exit intent pop-ups try to understand when somebody is about to leave a website and get them back by giving a pop-up or a personalized message. So that's all I wanted to cover today. I hope this was a helpful session. If you want more content related to B2B marketing, I recommend you check out our website scalegrow.com. You can go to the Knowledge Hub, and in the blog section, we have plenty of articles that covers multiple topics in B2B marketing, including content, marketing analytics, ABM, demand gen, video marketing, and much, much more. You could also check out our newsletter, which is hosted on Substack, scalegrow.substack.com, where we share one B2B growth hack every week. We also have a YouTube channel where we share a lot of useful content. You could also check out our LinkedIn page as well as X page. So that's all I wanted to cover today. I hope this was an insightful session. So to everyone who listened in, thanks a lot. If you have any questions about anything that we discussed today, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for listening in. You